Maria had always been a woman of quiet strength, a trait that often went unnoticed in the bustling environment of the corporate office where she worked as a janitor. Every morning, while the sun barely peeked over the horizon, she would arrive at the building, her worn-out sneakers softly tapping against the polished floors. With a cleaning cart in tow, she would navigate through the labyrinth of cubicles, her presence a mere whisper amidst the clamor of ringing phones and hurried conversations. Maria was not just any janitor, she was the heartbeat of the office, ensuring that everything was pristine and organized, yet few recognized her contributions. Throughout her years in this role, Maria had witnessed the ebb and flow of office dynamics. She saw the executives striding confidently through the halls, their heads held high, laughing and joking amongst themselves. In stark contrast, the junior employees often gathered in small clusters, exchanging stories and giggles, some of which were at Maria's expense. They would mockingly imitate her accent or chuckle as she meticulously arranged the conference room, their laughter echoing off the sterile walls. Yet, Maria never let their jibes affect her. Instead, she wore her uniform with pride, knowing that every sweep of her mop and every flick of her duster played a part in maintaining the company's polished exterior. Maria's backstory was one of resilience. Originally from a small town, she had moved to the city with dreams of a better life. Education had been a luxury her family could not afford, so she had taken on various odd jobs, eventually landing in the cleaning sector. Despite the challenges, Maria cherished her independence and the ability to support herself. She had a simple routine: work, return home to her modest apartment, and spend her evenings tending to her small garden, where vibrant flowers bloomed under her care. Each petal seemed to represent a piece of her dreams, reminding her that beauty could thrive even in the most unexpected places. As the days turned into months, Maria became accustomed to the routines of the office. She knew when the coffee machine would break down, when the printers would jam, and the best times to sneak a break herself, away from prying eyes. However, the ridicule never ceased. The employees, entrenched in their bubbles of privilege, continued to view her as just a background character in their corporate play. They failed to realize that Maria was not merely a janitor but a guardian of the office's integrity. Her meticulous nature ensured that the floors were spotless, the bathrooms always stocked, and the kitchen free of any lingering odors. This dedication often resulted in the employees taking her work for granted, leading to a lack of appreciation for her efforts. Yet, Maria harbored a secret. She had aspirations that reached beyond the mop and broom. During her breaks, she would often pull out a tattered notebook filled with ideas and sketches for a startup she dreamed of launching one day. She envisioned a business that would blend her love for cleaning with eco-friendly products, a venture that could revolutionize the industry. But with each passing day, the weight of her dreams felt heavier, overshadowed by the dismissive glances of her coworkers and the relentless demands of her current job. Despite this, Maria remained hopeful. She believed that everyone had a story worth telling, and perhaps one day, her own story would be heard. Little did she know that the day would soon come when her name would echo through the halls of the office, not as a punchline, but as a beacon of inspiration. For now, with a determined spirit, she continued her daily routine, cleaning not just the spaces around her, but also nurturing the dreams that lay dormant within her heart, waiting for the right moment to blossom. The office building where Maria worked was a towering glass structure that gleamed under the sun, a symbol of success and ambition. Its sleek design and modern interiors reflected the wealth and prestige of the corporation housed within. The lobby, adorned with marble floors and high ceilings, set the tone for the opulence that followed. As employees entered each morning, they were greeted by the sound of the elevator dinging, a constant reminder of the hustle and bustle that filled the air. Inside, the atmosphere was a cocktail of high energy and competitive spirit. Executives moved with a sense of purpose, their tailored suits draping elegantly over their shoulders as they navigated through the maze of cubicles. Meetings were held in glass-walled conference rooms where animated discussions often took place, the voices rising and falling like a symphony of corporate jargon. Amidst this orchestrated chaos, Maria worked tirelessly, her presence often overlooked as she moved between offices, diligently cleaning up the remnants of lunch breaks and coffee spills. The employees, a mix of ambitious young professionals and seasoned veterans, often formed cliques that dictated the social landscape of the office. It was not uncommon to hear laughter erupt from one corner as a group of marketing executives shared jokes, while another cluster of analysts huddled over spreadsheets, their faces etched with concentration. Maria would occasionally catch snippets of conversations filled with industry buzzwords and insider references, a world completely foreign to her. The hierarchy within the office was palpable, with the higher-ups enjoying privileges that seemed to elevate them above the rest. As the days passed, Maria noticed the trends of camaraderie and rivalry among the employees. The newcomers often felt intimidated by the established teams, who had formed bonds over years of shared experiences. This dynamic created an environment where the janitorial staff, including Maria, were viewed as mere support personnel, invisible and unworthy of recognition. Some employees even went so far as to make snide comments about Maria's work, assuming that her role was synonymous with a lack of ambition. However, not everyone was dismissive. A few of the younger employees, who had recently joined the company, showed kindness toward Maria. They would smile and exchange pleasantries, occasionally helping her carry supplies or offering a cup of coffee during her breaks. These small gestures warmed Maria's heart, reminding her that kindness could still exist in the fast-paced corporate world. Yet, the majority remained oblivious to her struggles and aspirations, viewing her as a fixture of the office rather than a person with hopes and dreams. One of the most challenging aspects of Maria's job was the relentless pace of the office. Every day, she would arrive before dawn to prepare for the onslaught of activity. With each passing hour, the noise level would rise, and the energy would shift from focused productivity to chaotic urgency. Employees often rushed past her, their eyes glued to their phones or laptops, barely acknowledging her existence. It was a stark contrast to her life outside the office, where she found solace in her garden, nurturing each plant with care and attention. Despite the challenges, Maria took pride in her work. She understood the importance of a clean and organized environment for productivity and morale. She often found herself reflecting on how her role, though seemingly menial, played a crucial part in the overall success of the office. Each day, she would envision the day when her hard work and dedication would be recognized, not just by her peers but by the executives who often passed her by without a second glance. As the weeks rolled on, the tension in the office began to build. Rumors circulated about an important meeting that was to take place, a meeting that could potentially change the trajectory of the company. Employees whispered about the stakes involved, their excitement palpable as they speculated on the outcomes. Maria, however, remained focused on her tasks, unaware that the events of this meeting would soon intertwine her fate with that of the entire company, altering the course of her life forever. Maria's typical day at work began with the soft chime of her alarm clock, a gentle reminder that another day awaited her in the corporate jungle. After a quick breakfast, she would don her navy blue uniform, its fabric worn but clean, and lace up her sturdy sneakers. With her cleaning cart stocked with supplies, mops, brooms, disinfectants, and rags, she would set out for the office, mentally preparing herself for the challenges ahead. Arriving at the building just as the first rays of sunlight broke through the horizon, Maria would enter through the back door, where the employees rarely passed. The lobby was still quiet, with only the sound of her cartwheels echoing against the marble floors. She relished these early moments when the world was still waking up, allowing her to gather her thoughts before the hustle began. As she made her way to the supply closet, she would take a deep breath, mentally preparing for the whirlwind of activity that was about to unfold. Maria's first task was to clean the restrooms, a job she approached with a sense of responsibility. She understood that a clean bathroom contributed to the overall atmosphere of the office. Armed with her gloves and cleaning solutions, she scrubbed and sanitized every surface, ensuring that everything was spotless. It was a routine she had perfected over the years, and she took pride in the knowledge that her efforts directly impacted the well-being of her coworkers, even if they didn't realize it. After finishing in the restrooms, Maria would head to the break room, where remnants of the previous day's lunches often lingered. She would empty the trash cans, wipe down the countertops, and restock supplies like coffee and paper towels. This was one of the few areas where she occasionally interacted with employees, albeit briefly. Some would thank her for keeping the place tidy, others would ignore her entirely, engrossed in their conversations or scrolling through their phones. By mid-morning, the office would come alive with the sounds of ringing phones and keyboard clacking. Maria would navigate through the maze of cubicles, her cart trailing behind her like a silent shadow. She would pause at each desk to pick up stray papers, water bottles, and snack wrappers, often overhearing snippets of conversations. The employees' discussions ranged from project updates to weekend plans, and Maria would smile to herself, grateful for the small moments of connection, even if they were one-sided. As the hours passed, Maria continued her routine, cleaning the conference rooms and ensuring that they were ready for meetings. She would arrange the chairs, wipe down the tables, and check that the AV equipment was functioning. It was during these moments that she often felt invisible, as executives rushed in and out, their minds preoccupied with deadlines and presentations. While they focused on the tasks at hand, Maria would silently observe, taking note of their interactions and the dynamics at play. One particular day, as Maria was cleaning one of the conference rooms, she overheard a heated discussion coming from the adjoining room. The voices were tense, filled with urgency. Curiosity piqued, she slowed her movements, trying to catch snippets of the conversation. Phrases like merger and quarterly results floated through the air, but Maria quickly shook her head, reminding herself that such matters were beyond her realm. She returned to her work, finishing up quickly as she prepared to move on to the next task. As lunchtime approached, Maria would often find herself taking a brief break in the small garden area behind the office. It was her sanctuary, a little patch of green amidst the concrete and steel of the city. She would sit quietly on a bench, sipping her water and taking in the fresh air, even if just for a few moments. It was during these breaks that Maria would pull out her notebook, jotting down ideas for her future business, a dream that felt both distant and tantalizingly close. After her break, Maria would dive back into her work, tackling the floors of the office. She would push her mop across the tiles, her movements rhythmic and practiced. It was during this time that she often contemplated her life, balancing the weight of her dreams with the reality of her current situation. The office remained bustling around her, and while she was a mere cog in the machine, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was destined for something more. As the day wound down and the sun began to set, casting a warm glow through the office windows, Maria would finish her tasks and prepare to leave. She would gather her cart, feeling a sense of accomplishment for the day's work. Little did she know that the events to unfold in the coming days would challenge her perception of herself and the role she played within the corporate world, leading her down a path she had never anticipated. It was an ordinary Wednesday morning when an unexpected incident unfolded at the office, forever altering the rhythm of Maria's day. The sun streamed through the large glass windows, illuminating the sleek desks and bustling employees. As Maria moved through her established routine, she felt a hint of excitement in the air, though she couldn't quite put her finger on why. Perhaps it was the anticipation of the quarterly meeting that was scheduled for later that afternoon, a highly anticipated event that had been the talk of the office for weeks. After finishing her cleaning duties in the restrooms and break room, Maria headed to the conference room to prepare for the upcoming meeting. As she entered, she noticed a table laden with snacks, coffee, and neatly arranged documents. She took a moment to ensure everything was in order, wiping down surfaces and adjusting the seating. Just as she finished, a commotion erupted from the hallway, catching her attention. Rushing footsteps echoed through the corridor, and Maria peeked out to see several employees hurrying toward the break room, their expressions a mix of surprise and panic. Curiosity piqued, Maria followed closely behind, her heart racing as she wondered what could be causing such a stir. As she entered the break room, she was met with a chaotic scene. Coffee had been spilled all over the floor, and a few employees were frantically trying to clean up the mess. The source of the chaos was quickly revealed. A young intern, Mark, stood in the center of the room, his face flushed with embarrassment. He had accidentally knocked over a full pot of coffee while attempting to refill his cup, and the dark liquid now pooled across the tiles, creating a treacherous hazard. Employees were scrambling to grab paper towels and mops, their voices overlapping as they tried to assess the situation. Amid the frantic energy, Maria felt a familiar surge of responsibility welling up within her. Without hesitation, Maria stepped forward, her instincts kicking in. "Let me help," she said, her voice steady amidst the chaos. The employees paused, momentarily taken aback by her sudden presence. While some exchanged skeptical glances, others nodded in appreciation, recognizing her experience in handling such situations. As Maria quickly grabbed her mop and cleaning supplies, she took charge of the situation. She directed a couple of employees to help her gather the paper towels, while others began to move furniture away from the mess. "We need to be careful not to slip," she reminded them, her authoritative tone surprising even herself. In that moment, Maria felt a shift in the atmosphere, her confidence seemed to command attention. The commotion continued as they worked together to clean up the spilled coffee, but Maria remained calm and focused. She moved with purpose, her years of experience shining through as she expertly wiped down the floor, ensuring every trace of the mess was removed. The employees who had initially dismissed her now watched in awe, realizing that she was not just a janitor but someone who could take charge and guide them through a crisis. As they finished up, Mark, the intern, approached Maria, visibly relieved. "Thank you so much for jumping in," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I didn't know what to do, and I was worried I'd get in trouble." Maria smiled warmly, recognizing the tension in his voice. "It happens to the best of us. Just remember to be more careful next time," she replied, her reassuring words helping to ease his embarrassment. With the coffee incident resolved, the atmosphere in the break room began to shift back to normalcy. Employees resumed their conversations, and laughter filled the air once again. Maria felt a sense of pride in her ability to handle the unexpected situation, but she also sensed an undercurrent of change. Perhaps this incident had opened a door for her, allowing her to step out of the shadows and into the light, if only for a moment. As she continued her cleaning duties throughout the day, Maria couldn't shake the feeling that the incident had shifted something within the office. The employees who had witnessed her in action seemed to look at her differently, their initial mockery replaced by a newfound respect. The ripple effect of her actions was subtle yet significant, as Maria began to realize that she could no longer be just an invisible presence in the office. Little did she know that the impact of the coffee spill would extend beyond that day. The upcoming quarterly meeting, which was already buzzing with anticipation, would soon intertwine her fate with the company in ways she could never have imagined. The incident had ignited a spark within Maria, one that would fuel her journey toward realizing her dreams and redefining her role within the corporate world. The day of the quarterly meeting arrived, and the atmosphere in the office was electric with anticipation. Employees buzzed with excitement, their conversations filled with speculation about the potential outcomes of the presentation. Maria could feel the energy radiating through the halls as she prepared for her morning routine. She had already completed her usual cleaning tasks in the break room and restrooms, but today felt different. Today, she sensed that something significant was about to unfold. As the clock inched toward the meeting start time, Maria busied herself in the conference room, making sure everything was in order. The long table was set with neatly arranged documents, projectors were plugged in, and the snacks and drinks were ready to fuel the employees through what promised to be an intense session. She glanced around, noting the subtle tension in the air as executives gathered outside the room, waiting for the signal to enter. Moments before the meeting was set to begin, Maria heard a commotion coming from the hallway. A group of employees rushed past her, their voices rising in urgency. Intrigued, she stepped out to see what was happening, her heart racing at the prospect of another unexpected incident. As she peered into the corridor, she spotted Mark, the intern from the coffee spill incident, looking frantic as he tried to juggle a stack of presentation materials. "Mark. What's wrong?" Maria asked, instinctively stepping forward to help. "I can't find the financial report. It's supposed to be here for the meeting, and I can't locate it," he exclaimed, panic evident in his eyes. Maria felt a wave of empathy wash over her. "Let's retrace your steps," she suggested. Together, they hurried down the hall, checking the various meeting rooms and common areas where the report might have been misplaced. As they searched, Maria's mind raced with the potential consequences of the missing document. The financial report was critical for the presentation, and without it, the entire meeting could be jeopardized. Time was running out. As they approached the last room on their list, Maria noticed a flicker of hope in Mark's eyes. "I think I left it in here," he said, pushing the door open. But as they stepped inside, their hearts sank. The room was empty. The presentation team was already assembling in the conference room, and it was evident that the meeting was about to commence without the crucial information. "Mark, we need to get back," Maria urged, her voice urgent. They rushed back to the conference room, where the atmosphere was tense. Executives were seated, and the main presenter, a senior manager named Lisa, was preparing her notes. Just as they entered, the projector flickered to life, and Lisa began her presentation. Maria watched from the back of the room, her heart pounding as she sensed the tension in the air. Lisa started discussing the company's performance metrics, but it quickly became apparent that something was amiss. The figures presented on the slide were outdated and incomplete, leading to murmurs of confusion among the audience. As the presentation progressed, Lisa expounded on strategies and forecasts, but without the financial report, the narrative became increasingly muddled. Maria could see the frustration rising on the faces of the executives, and she felt a knot tighten in her stomach. The stakes were high, and the room was filled with an air of uncertainty. Suddenly, a voice broke through the tension. "Where are the updated financials?" one of the executives demanded, his tone sharp. "We can't proceed without them." The atmosphere shifted dramatically. Lisa's confidence faltered as she tried to explain the oversight, and the tension in the room escalated. Maria couldn't bear to watch the chaos unfold. She knew she had to intervene. Without thinking twice, she stepped forward, her heart racing. "Excuse me," she called out, her voice cutting through the noise. All eyes turned to her, surprise and confusion etched on their faces. "Maria?" Lisa exclaimed, clearly taken aback. "What are you doing here?" "I know where the financial report is," Maria said, her voice steady despite the rising adrenaline. "Mark misplaced it, and we've been searching for it. It's in the storage room by the break area. I can get it." A moment of silence followed her declaration. The executives exchanged glances, unsure of how to react. Lisa hesitated but then nodded. "Thank you, Maria. Please go get it. We need it now." With renewed determination, Maria hurried out of the conference room, racing against the clock. She navigated through the hallways, her mind focused on the task at hand. The weight of the moment pressed heavily on her. She was not just retrieving a document but stepping into the spotlight in a way she had never imagined. As she reached the storage room, her heart pounded in her chest. She frantically searched through stacks of papers and boxes until, finally, she spotted the financial report tucked away in a folder. Relief washed over her as she grabbed it and sprinted back to the conference room. Upon entering, she held the report high, her breath coming in quick gasps. "Here it is," she announced, her voice filled with a mix of triumph and urgency. Lisa rushed over to take the report, her eyes widening with gratitude. "Thank you, Maria," she said, relief flooding her expression. As Lisa quickly reviewed the document, the room buzzed with anticipation. Maria stood at the back, heart racing as she realized the gravity of what she had just done. In that moment, she had not only saved the day but also changed the course of the meeting, and perhaps her own fate within the company. The executives resumed their seats, and Lisa began to present the updated financials, her confidence restored. As the presentation continued, Maria felt a sense of empowerment wash over her. She had stepped out of the shadows, proving that she was more than just a janitor. In the whirlwind of chaos, she had become an unexpected hero, and the respect she had longed for began to blossom within the hearts of her coworkers. The tides were turning, and Maria could sense that this moment would lead to even greater changes ahead. As the presentation concluded, Maria stood in the back of the conference room, her heart still racing from the adrenaline of the moment. The atmosphere in the room had shifted dramatically. What had started as a disaster had transformed into a success, thanks to her quick thinking. The executives were animated, discussing the results and strategies with renewed enthusiasm. Lisa, visibly relieved, thanked Maria once again, her gratitude echoing through the room. However, as the applause faded and the meeting concluded, Maria felt a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. She had stepped out of her comfort zone, but she still wondered if her actions would be recognized beyond this moment. Would she remain invisible, or had she finally made an impression? Just then, the office door swung open, and in walked the president of the company, Mr. Thompson, a tall man with an air of authority and charisma that instantly commanded respect. Maria's heart skipped a beat. She had only ever seen him from a distance, his presence looming large in the world of corporate power. The room fell silent as he entered, and all eyes turned toward him. "Thank you, everyone, for your hard work," Mr. Thompson began, his voice steady and confident. "I just caught wind of what happened during the presentation. I want to address something very important." Maria held her breath, unsure of where this was heading. The employees shifted in their seats, curiosity piqued as they awaited his words. Maria felt a sense of pride swell within her. She had played a part in this meeting, and now it seemed the president was about to acknowledge it. "I want to take a moment to recognize the effort of our team today, particularly the quick thinking of one individual," Mr. Thompson continued, scanning the room. Maria, our janitor, stepped in when things began to unravel. She demonstrated not only her dedication but also her commitment to this company. Gasps of surprise echoed through the room, and Maria felt her cheeks flush with embarrassment and disbelief. The president had called her name. She had never imagined that someone of his stature would recognize her in front of all her colleagues. The murmurs of surprise quickly turned to applause, and Maria stood frozen, her heart pounding in her chest. "I believe we should always remember that every role within this company is vital to our success," Mr. Thompson continued, his voice resonating with sincerity. "Maria's actions today remind us that we all play a part in the bigger picture, and our work, no matter how seemingly small, contributes to the success of our organization." As the applause grew louder, Maria felt a whirlwind of emotions, gratitude, pride, and a hint of disbelief. This moment was surreal. She had spent years feeling invisible, and now she was standing in the spotlight, recognized for her contributions. The executives who had once dismissed her were now applauding her bravery and resourcefulness. "Maria, please come up here," Mr. Thompson called, gesturing for her to join him at the front of the room. The eyes of her coworkers followed her as she walked forward, her heart racing with each step. She felt like a deer caught in headlights, unsure of how to respond. When she reached the front, Mr. Thompson offered her a warm smile. "Thank you for your courage and quick thinking today. You've set an example for all of us." He turned to the rest of the team. "Let this be a lesson that we should never underestimate anyone's potential. We're all in this together." Maria stood beside him, her hands trembling slightly as she faced the audience. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson," she managed to say, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions within her. "I just did what I thought was right. I believe we all contribute to the success of this company, no matter our role." The room erupted in cheers and applause once more, and Maria felt a wave of warmth wash over her. In that moment, she realized that her hard work and dedication had finally been acknowledged. She was no longer just the janitor, she was a valued member of the team. As the meeting concluded and her coworkers approached her with congratulations, Maria felt a profound shift within herself. She had crossed a threshold, stepping into a new chapter of her life where her voice mattered, where her contributions were recognized. With each handshake and smile from her colleagues, she felt the weight of her dreams begin to lift. The president's call had not only validated her efforts but also ignited a spark of hope within her. Maybe, just maybe, her aspirations for a better future were within reach. As she left the conference room, Maria knew that this was just the beginning of a new journey, one where she would strive to prove her worth further and pursue her dreams with renewed vigor. In the days following the quarterly meeting, Maria found herself at the center of attention in the office. The recognition she received from Mr. Thompson had sparked a newfound appreciation among her coworkers, and the atmosphere within the office began to shift. Colleagues who once dismissed her were now stopping to chat, offering smiles and kind words. It was a surreal experience. She had gone from being invisible to an unexpected key player in the corporate environment. Maria embraced the attention but remained grounded, aware that she still had work to do. With her heart set on her dreams, she began to contemplate her aspirations for launching her eco-friendly cleaning business. The incident during the presentation had ignited a fire within her, and she felt an urgency to take the next steps toward her goals. One afternoon, as she was cleaning the executive floor, she overheard a conversation between two senior managers discussing a corporate sustainability initiative. They were brainstorming ideas for reducing waste and implementing eco-friendly practices throughout the company. Maria's ears perked up as she listened, her mind racing with possibilities. This was her chance to not only contribute further to the company but also to integrate her passion for sustainable cleaning solutions. As she continued her work, Maria formulated a plan in her mind. After finishing her cleaning duties, she approached Lisa, who had become an ally since the presentation. "Hey, Lisa, do you have a moment?" Maria asked, her voice steady but tinged with excitement. "Of course, Maria. What's on your mind?" Lisa replied, genuinely interested. "I overheard you and the other managers talking about the sustainability initiative. I've been thinking about how I could contribute to that," Maria began, her heart racing. "I have some ideas for eco-friendly cleaning products and practices that could align with the company's goals." Lisa's eyes widened with interest. "Really? That's fantastic. I didn't know you had experience in that area." Maria nodded, her confidence growing. "I've always been passionate about using environmentally friendly products. I believe that we can create a healthier workplace and reduce our environmental impact at the same time. Let's set up a meeting with the sustainability team," Lisa suggested, her enthusiasm evident. "Your insights could be invaluable to this initiative." Maria felt a surge of hope. This was her opportunity to showcase her expertise and contribute meaningfully to the company. They quickly scheduled a meeting for later that week, and Maria began to prepare her ideas, eager to share her vision. As the days passed, she worked tirelessly, compiling research on eco-friendly cleaning practices and statistics on the benefits of sustainable products. She designed a presentation that highlighted not only the environmental advantages but also the potential cost savings for the company. With every slide she created, her excitement grew. Finally, the day of the meeting arrived. Maria stood outside the conference room, her palms slightly sweaty as she adjusted her notes. This was a pivotal moment for her, one she had longed for, and she wanted to make a lasting impression. When Lisa arrived, she offered a reassuring smile, and together they entered the room. The sustainability team was already seated, a mix of executives and managers looking eager to discuss new initiatives. Maria took a deep breath and began her presentation, her voice steady as she spoke about the importance of sustainability and the role cleaning practices could play in achieving the company's goals. She outlined her ideas for eco-friendly products, emphasizing their effectiveness and safety. As she presented, Maria could feel the energy in the room shift. The executives leaned in, engaged by her passion and knowledge. She shared success stories from other companies that had implemented similar initiatives, showcasing the positive impact on employee morale and overall productivity. The room was alive with discussion, and Maria felt a sense of empowerment wash over her. After she finished, there was a moment of silence as the team absorbed the information. Then, one of the senior executives spoke up. "This is impressive, Maria. You've clearly done your homework. I believe we should consider trialing some of these products in our office." Excitement bubbled within her as the team continued to discuss her ideas, brainstorming how they could implement changes. Maria felt a sense of belonging that she had never experienced before. She was no longer just a janitor, she was a contributor, a voice that mattered. As the meeting wrapped up, Mr. Thompson entered the room, having heard about the discussions. "I was just informed about your presentation, Maria," he said, a smile spreading across his face. "I'm impressed by your initiative. I want you to lead this project moving forward." Maria's heart soared. This was the moment she had dreamed of, the moment that would change the trajectory of her life. She had not only shared her vision but had also been given the opportunity to lead it. The revelation that she could impact the company in such a significant way filled her with a newfound determination. As she left the conference room, Maria felt a profound sense of purpose. She knew she had a long road ahead, but for the first time, she felt that her dreams were within reach. The journey from janitor to leader had begun, and she was ready to embrace every challenge that lay ahead. The seeds of her aspirations were beginning to bloom, and she was excited to see how far they would take her. With the green light from Mr. Thompson to lead the sustainability initiative, Maria felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The recognition she had received was exhilarating, but the weight of responsibility was palpable. She had always dreamed of making a difference in her workplace, and now, that dream was becoming a reality. As she prepared to embark on this new journey, Maria knew that she had to approach it with determination and focus. In the days that followed, Maria dove headfirst into the project. She organized meetings with the sustainability team, gathering insights from various departments about their cleaning practices and challenges. Her passion for eco-friendly solutions fueled her desire to create a comprehensive plan that would not only enhance the workplace environment but also align with the company's goals for sustainability. One of her first tasks was to conduct an audit of the current cleaning supplies used in the office. Maria reached out to suppliers and researched eco-friendly alternatives that were both effective and affordable. She wanted to ensure that the products chosen would meet the needs of the employees while also being safe for the environment. As she gathered samples and conducted comparisons, she felt a surge of empowerment. She was no longer just cleaning the office, she was shaping its future. During a meeting with the sustainability team, Maria presented her findings. "We currently use conventional cleaning products that contain harsh chemicals," she explained, her voice steady and confident. "Switching to eco-friendly alternatives can improve indoor air quality, reduce waste, and enhance our company's reputation as a responsible organization." The team was engaged, asking questions and providing feedback. Maria felt a sense of camaraderie forming as they discussed potential products and strategies. She was no longer the janitor, she was a valued member of the team, contributing her knowledge and expertise. As the project progressed, Maria also sought to involve her coworkers in the initiative. She organized workshops to educate employees about the benefits of sustainable practices and how they could contribute to a greener workplace. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and employees began to feel a sense of ownership over the initiative. They shared their own ideas and suggestions, creating a collaborative environment that fostered enthusiasm and commitment. However, challenges arose as well. Not everyone was enthusiastic about the changes. Some employees were resistant to altering their routines or trying new products, expressing skepticism about their effectiveness. Maria faced moments of doubt, wondering if she could truly make a difference. Yet, she reminded herself of the importance of perseverance and the vision she had for a cleaner, healthier workplace. Determined to address these concerns, Maria organized a Green Day event, a day dedicated to showcasing the new eco-friendly products and practices. She invited employees to participate in hands-on demonstrations, allowing them to experience the benefits firsthand. The event was designed to be engaging, with fun activities and prizes to incentivize participation. On the day of the event, Maria felt a rush of nerves as she set up the displays. She wanted everything to be perfect, and she hoped that her colleagues would embrace the changes. As employees began to trickle in, Maria greeted them with genuine enthusiasm, eager to share her passion for sustainability. The demonstrations were a hit. Employees experimented with the eco-friendly cleaning products, amazed by their effectiveness. Maria took the opportunity to explain the science behind the products, highlighting their safety for both people and the environment. The atmosphere was lively, filled with laughter and camaraderie as colleagues bonded over their shared commitment to sustainability. By the end of the day, Maria felt a sense of accomplishment as employees shared their positive feedback. The event had sparked conversations about sustainability that extended beyond the workplace, with many employees expressing their intention to adopt eco-friendly practices at home. Maria's heart swelled with pride. She had successfully engaged her colleagues and inspired them to take action. However, the journey was far from over. As the months went by, Maria continued to face challenges. Coordinating with suppliers, navigating budget constraints, and ensuring consistent buy-in from employees required constant effort and dedication. But each time she encountered an obstacle, she reminded herself of the impact her work could have on the environment and the company culture. One evening, as Maria was leaving the office, she received an email notification on her phone. It was from Mr. Thompson, expressing his appreciation for her hard work and dedication to the sustainability initiative. He invited her to present her progress at the upcoming board meeting. Maria felt a rush of excitement and anxiety. This was a significant opportunity to showcase her efforts to the company's leaders. In the days leading up to the board meeting, Maria meticulously prepared her presentation. She compiled data on the positive changes implemented, employee engagement statistics, and the benefits of the eco-friendly products. As she practiced her delivery, she felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness. This was her chance to solidify her role within the company and demonstrate the value of her contributions. On the day of the board meeting, Maria stood outside the conference room, her heart pounding. She could hear the voices of executives discussing the agenda inside. Taking a deep breath, she reminded herself of the journey she had undertaken and the impact she had already made. This was more than just a presentation, it was a testament to her growth and determination. When it was her turn to present, Maria stepped into the room, her confidence renewed. She spoke passionately about the initiative, sharing stories of employee engagement and the positive changes taking place in the office. The board members listened intently, nodding in approval as she highlighted the benefits of sustainability for both the environment and the company's bottom line. As she concluded her presentation, Maria felt a wave of relief wash over her. The board members applauded, and Mr. Thompson stood up, offering her a genuine smile. "Thank you, Maria. Your dedication and leadership have truly made a difference. We're excited to support this initiative moving forward." In that moment, Maria realized that she had not only embraced her role as a leader but had also become a catalyst for change. The journey she had embarked upon was just beginning, and she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, fueled by her passion for sustainability and her desire to make a meaningful impact.